Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is May 18th. This is the Horsehead Central School District regular Board of Education meeting for the month of May. At this time, I'd like to turn the microphone, I guess, over to Ms. Dale.
All right, good evening. Can you please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? For the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so first up we have our minutes, 2.01 through 2.03. Can we have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Okay, any comments or questions related to our minutes from the public hearing, our last business meeting, and our special meeting? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Okay, our time for our community questions and comments. So if anybody in the community would like to address the board, I ask you to come to the podium, state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes. Just a reminder, it's not a two-way dialogue. It's just meant for you to, any questions or concerns, if appropriate, if there's something that we can immediately respond to, Dr. Douglas will. Otherwise, we'll take what you have to say and we can get back to you at a later time or discuss it outside of the board meeting, outside of the rest of this meeting. So if anybody would like to come up, I invite you.
Gerald Fern Frames, 4191 Main Street, Newport, New York. And I hope I don't disturb the little guy there. Founding Father Thomas Jefferson said, "Good public education is essential to democracy." My contention is, poor public education is essential to socialism. Our founding fathers mistrusted government, yet saw a need for its civilization. Understanding power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. While all governments lean toward corruption, even democracy, socialism is a government that is established in corruption. Our American government is marinated in corruption. As we move more and more toward socialism, we become more and more corrupt. The education industry is a major ally, if not a teacher, or perhaps a leader in corruption. Be sure education is an industry dedicated to profit and power. Education of our youth well down the list of priorities. If on the list at all. Indoctrination into democratic socialist dogma seems the goal of our education industry. Subjects like critical race theory, gender fluidity, woke dominating curriculum nationally, expanding students' intelligence with English, mathematics, history, and sciences disciplines have been sacrificed for social engineering, bastardizing society. Teaching what to think, not independent and critical thinking, manipulated by elitist pseudo-intellectual bottom feeders seeking absolute power. We the people have awarded education special reverence as though educators were saintly and always representing integrity. At the highest level of education, colleges and universities, elitist pseudo-intellectual bottom feeders have hijacked and poisoned education and society for the goal of their absolute power, initiating trickle-down corruption, evolving to cascading corruption, aiding government in their march toward total corruption. Personified by Randy Weingarten, the Jimmy Hoffa Thug-like president, boss of the American Federation of Teachers. The National School Board Association colluded with DOJ and FBI for parents addressing concerns at board meetings, designated them as domestic terrorists. School boards becoming so arrogant they would remain unquestioned. I saw that in our own school board over the years as an activist, school board member, and on a couple of district committees. That arrogance looking down on the community and exalting themselves, a recipe for corruption.
Sir, I'm going to have to stop you. Our time limit for community comments is 3 minutes per person. That's part of our policy, but if you
So I
have
thought I had
something,
this time you out.
if you have something documented, you're more than.
Yes, I
welcome
do,
to.
and I will pass copies out to you.
Mr. Krantz, I believe that was the letter you sent, and I've distributed to the board
Yes.
already, correct?
Oh, I
Yes.
didn't know if you had.
Yes, I sent you an email, and I think I even said if they had a response, because you requested
Yeah.
that I would send it back, they've had it, and there is no response at this point as those are your
Okay,
perceptions.
well, I will,
Yep, if you want to approach me, I'll take it, I'll make sure I give it again.
and I have my SlideShare account and my phone number. If you have any questions, I have a lot of documentation into my concerns.
No problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello? I know you usually have a treat in your pocket.
I usually do, and I feel bad that I don't.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak?
What am I stealing here?
Okay, moving on to our student representatives, and Tatiana.
Good evening, members of the board and the Horsets community. I'm Tatiana Kopp, and welcome to the student representatives report of today's meeting. I hope you all are having a marvelous May, just like the Horset High School. Varsity boys lacrosse is continuing to have an abundantly successful season with 11 consecutive wins across their most recent games. Tomorrow, they will participate in the boys lacrosse sectional semifinals at Vestal High School. Outdoor track will be participating in a class meet, which will also be held at Vestal High School on Tuesday, May 23rd. Please consider coming out to either of these events to support all of our terrific athletes, and we wish them the best of luck. Our Horsets Blue Raider Marching Ensemble will be participating in the Memorial Day Parade on May 29th, playing an excerpt from the song Shut Up and Dance by Walk the Moon. The Marching Ensemble also recently announced their 2023 marching band show will be Carmen en Seville, featuring music from the well-known Spanish opera with the same title. You can look forward to more information on this exciting season in the near future. Our most hearty of congratulations to Ms. Dufort, advisor for the high school's Genders and Sexualities Alliance, for being awarded the Corning Incorporated Office of Racial Equality and Social Unity Equity Cataclysm Award. We are so proud of you and all of the ways you strive to make our school more inclusive every day. The National Honor Society finished their spring service project today. Their goal was to raise $2,000 in donations to the Children's Miracle Network, and while exact numbers are not in yet, it is safe to say that they greatly surpassed that goal. Way to make us proud. The senior class will be hosting their senior prom this Saturday, May 20th. The theme is La Nuit en Rose, a Parisian approach on the idea of seeing the world through rose-colored glasses. We look forward to seeing you all for a magical night this weekend. Horsets Choirs invites you to their 2023 Pops concert, A Night at the Movies, featuring songs from film and cinema. Come out for a fun-filled night of music on June 10th at 6 p.m. Information on purchasing tickets will be available soon. Thank you to the Board of Education and the Horsets community for your continued support as we wrap up the 2022 to 2023 school year. That is the conclusion of my report. I hope you all have a marvelous night, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Your reports are the highlight of every board meeting. Your enthusiasm, your happiness, and you just have just a wide variety of things that you update on. And it's pretty amazing. You know, if you follow our school Facebook pages, Mrs. Carazola does a great job this time of year highlighting all the seniors and all the seniors that are in all the clubs and everything. And every post that's been coming up, there's Tatiana, and this club. So you definitely are able to get a wide perspective with all your involvement. So thank you very, very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, next, our superintendent report.
Thank you, President Dale. Again, thank you, Tatiana. I know next month you'll be here doing some introductions for next year's replacements as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Board of Education, I just want to thank everybody in the Horsets community for coming out. We sort of returned to a normal style vote on Tuesday, where pre-pandemic we were right around 1,300 to 1,500 votes, and then we sort of went down. And last year we had a major tax decrease, which brought the number down farther. And this year we had a slight increase that also brought the number up a little. But our whole emphasis was this year is more of a return to normal. And I think we're finally getting that point. So I want to thank everybody that came out. I want to thank everybody that voted. And I do want to congratulate the board on presenting a budget that was approved with a supermajority. This is the 8th supermajority that this district's had, as well as supermajorities in the merger vote count and a supermajority in both of the capital projects. So I think everybody's listening and watching what the Board of Education is doing, as well as how do we always improve and try to make everything as best we can or better for the future, for not only Horseheads, our students, our alumni, and even our students' kids down the road. So thank you to everyone. In addition, we had a wonderful turnout for our mascot image. Sue's back there shaking her head. She even said mascot the other day. But our total thing is really about our image. With the letter, the branding and stuff. We had over almost 1,000 people come in just from the community and adults vote as well. We conducted, and I want to thank Charles DeTay, Chris Earl, as well as Sue for putting together and holding the election in every single class across the district at the beginning of the day. I will tell you, the votes are not tabulated. The announcement will come at June Board of Education meeting, because once they're tabulated, we will look at finalizing and getting one full sort of picture board of everything so that we can unveil it, and it would go into place starting June 1st, which means Mike Cochran's got a lot of work to do across the district. But this is more paint and then having graphics put up. So we want to thank everybody that participated in it, whether they were pre-K, middle school, intermediate school, high school, elementary kids, our community, and our alumni. And we thank them for at least offering and participating. One of the things that's going on through the budget process in the state is universal meals. We have been informed that universal meals is not truly universal. The district has to meet a certain threshold, and at this point, the calculation for Horseheads is to just barely meet the threshold for most of our schools, but not all of our schools. Right now, it does appear we will apply, and it looks like middle school through elementary schools will qualify for free universal meals next year. Because the number at the high school is not at the number that it needs to be, but it's close, we don't qualify. However, there is potential movement on the federal level that they may reduce that number over the summer, and we would have one additional time over the summer to apply as well. And if they do reduce it like they say they're going to, it does appear that we may fully qualify. We're hoping that they do that. We found that during the pandemic that really helped. It helped all of our families, no matter who they were. The big thing is that is for one meal each day for breakfast and lunch. And if there was seconds or you wanted doubles or triples, that would be on the family. But at least we are looking at trying to get to that point. And we're hopeful that that will come to fruition from August. But more information, finalization will be notified in August. On another note, the district is going to be putting out a bus survey to all parents. And the reason for this is we are trying to nail down our ridership before the end of the school year. We are basically putting it out, and it will be out soon, that we'll ask every parent, do you need a seat on the bus for your child for the 23-24 school year? What will happen is the parents will fill it out for each child. If they say yes, we will have a seat, we will put them in the routing. If they say no, we will not put them in, and if there are changes during the year, all they have to do is call the bus driver. But there will be no seat for that child. This will help with efficiencies and looking at our routes. In addition, if we do not hear from somebody, but that's why we're doing it, by June 23rd, we really have to have a response from everyone. We will be making calls. We hope everybody will just take the time to fill it out, whether it's on their iPhone, their Samsung, Google, it doesn't matter, or their home computer, because this will help, and it will also help the opening of school with our transportation. That's why it's so important. Preferably, schools are only supposed to deliver from point A to point B in the morning and from point B to point A. We deal with multiple requests from families on different days. We are willing to accommodate that, but we want to make sure we have the ridership so we can try to make it as efficient as possible and effective as possible. Ultimately, what will happen is we expect to have our bus routing done, completed by August 1st. We expect to mail individual cards out by August 15th, and any fine tuning must be done between then and the first day of school, because we will not be changing students' routes the first week of school. So it is imperative that students and parents get this information in. We'll also have a backup that if we will run some reports if somebody hasn't, we will call them, attempt to call them, email them, and if they don't, we will accept that as they no longer need ridership at that point. But we will have it all documented. Did I cover it pretty good, Sue? I know Sue is going to be heading this up along with our Director of Technology and Richmond Alana. So hopefully we get a much firmer, stronger transportation start to the year. It will still be bumpy, and please always give us the first 3 or 4 weeks, but we are probably going to release a couple minutes early at each of our schools so that we can try to take the stress off of the schools. So in general, that is our report. Next month, we are going to have our architects in Welliver come out to give a status update of phase 2, as well as go over from concept to what's becoming reality, and have the board be able to have some questions there. Last week, I think just the other day, last meeting, we approved the Gardner Road bids. There is one option of an addendum that we asked, an alternate that we asked for, that was about $520,000 or $580,000. The administration has rejected that, and we still have the option, so we want the board to consider whether you want to do that. But the reason why we rejected is we felt the cost for that one piece of the project was too exorbitant, and because it was too exorbitant, we ended up recommending that we don't accept it at the time we accepted the bids. However, we have 120 days. Our position, and you can ask that question again upon the next month, but we do not believe we should do that, as the bid would have come in as we accepted everything, about 1.2 to 1.3 million over what we expected it to be. Because we don't accept that, it's only $700,000, and it's in line with where we expect it to be, with overages, and allows us to continue on with at least Ridge Road and high school gym at this point, with the possibility of intermediate school and middle school. So we just wanted to give you that report so that you know that that's coming up next month. In general, Mr. Gill, Ms. Pizzetti, Mr. Filippo, hiring season, right? If you know of a teacher, TA, teaching assistant, we are posting, and we'd like people as soon as possible. They're giving me clues, but we want people to apply. We are in the middle of our academic hiring season, and we have a major job fair for our transportation department coming up. Please visit our website. We have another increase in our salary and our benefits in that area, because that has been an area that's been struggling. However, I want to thank all of our transportation and support staff, just because we have not been struggling as much as every other district. So we want to try to provide those opportunities. If there's some people that like summer labor, mowing, fields, field work, general labor, I know Mr. Coughlin would love it if we could get some people. Please just call our HR department. It's on our website, Mr. Filippo, and we will get you in as soon as possible to talk. Did I miss any? Bus, wheels on the bus go round and round. BP?
Clean.
Custodial cleaners, yes. Thank you very much.
It's like charades.
So at that point, that concludes.
Okay.
Report.
Thank you. I just had a comment or a question related to the bus survey. And maybe, I don't know if we do this, or I know, we'll be doing calls and emails and, sending out links to people, but, in the wintertime, people will subscribe to if school's delayed or school's canceled. Can we use that same list to auto-text parents the link to be able to do the bus survey potentially? Just another way to be able to, I don't know, just a thought.
Go ahead, Sue. I'm giving you hand signals now.
Yeah, and just another avenue to get people to pay attention to stuff.
Yeah, and we did set June 23rd as the deadline. The reason being is we actually have office help for that following week so that we can try to follow quickly, because that will set the whole transportation department moving forward by July 1st.
All right, our board reports, audit committee, we didn't have an audit committee meeting this past month, policy.
We met on May 11th, and we discussed extensively code of conduct, exhibition, and the athletics appendix as well. They're still not ready for any action. The board, we tabled the code of conduct for additional input from high school, and athletics, we tabled for the A&E athletics and extracurricular committee to have a look at it before getting back to policy. And I don't believe there's anything to the order at the end of the meeting.
Any questions? All right, our finance items for action, we have 7.
Sorry about that. If the board will indulge me, if I could have Mr. Kevin Adams come front and center. Christine, come over here.
Sure.
Sorry. Mr. Adams, through your hard work, dedication, and time, training and everything, NISBA would like to award you the certificate for level 1 completion of training at 75 points. They give a point total. Oh, wonderful. Congratulations as well. And that's what
Congratulations.
And then I'll stay standing. Brian, you want to come over here? Help me out. If you want. Miss Dale has reached level 3 at 250 points, so if you want to tell her what here's what we've got for you.
He might win number 2.
And a complimentary training also, courtesy of Isabel. So congratulations, Christine.
As well as this nice workaround.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, what that is through, board members give so much of their time, and really there isn't any major compensation. So NISBA tries to award those people that are giving that tireless service. For those people that have gone to the conferences, all of those are educational times. When we go to webinars and so forth, those are educational times. So I want to thank you. I know you're all along your road one way or another. Thanks.
Thank you. So our finance items for action, we have 7.02 through 7.28. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Any comments or questions on any of these? Mr. Johnson.
As BOCES employee, I will abstain on 7.07 budget transfers report and 7.10 donation increase. No, sorry, 7.11 arts and education. 7.12 is also arts and education. BOCES programs and to employ the appearance of propriety and will abstain.
So not 7.10, just 7.07, 7.11, 7.12?
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on any of these items? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And then the abstentions we have noted for Mr. Johnson, 7.07, 7.11, and 7.12. All right. Our personnel items for action, we just have 8.02. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Any comments or questions on this?
There's an appointment on the agenda that I can't support, but I'm not going to actually vote against it, so I'm just going to stay on the HR recommendations.
Okay. For the whole thing versus just that section?
Rather than
Yeah.
narrow down or
Okay.
point out the individual.
Okay, that's fine. Any other comments or questions? All right, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. And any abstentions? Other than Mr. Johnson. And then I'd also like to congratulate, because on here, we do have a retirement for one of our food service helpers Ruth Goyette. So congratulations to Ruth, and thank you for all of your service, all of your years of service with the district. All right. Our miscellaneous items for action, 9.02. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? All right. As stated earlier, we have no policies to review for either second reading or first reading, and so I'll open it up to board member comments.
I would just like to acknowledge Tatiana again for the superior job that she and Mario did at the board members forum. I told her that I think she's going to go far. We're going to be watching her on some major network anchoring something because she is so, I don't know, you look like you were just having a great time. There isn't any nervousness or whatever, clear speaking and so forth. So please pass that on to her.
I will. Thank you so much. I
Very
appreciate
well.
it.
Any other comments? Lauren?
I guess I'm confused, and I think this is going to be into the future, and I'm confused about the process of closing certain programs in a school and then shifting it. So, for example, we close the pre-K, or we're going to close the pre-K at Gardner Road, and it's going to be shifted to Center Street. Is that an accurate statement?
No, we're shifting, not closing any program.
Okay, so you're shifting,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be available at Gardner Road
No,
because of the construction.
right, similar to what we did this year with Center Street to Gardner Road.
All right, so I guess I assumed that when we said the pre-K was going to be shifted, that the teacher would go with it, but apparently that's not how it's working. Is that an accurate statement?
No, it's governed by contract and we followed the contract.
So how is it a vacancy at Center Street? I don't understand, I guess, the terminology for vacancy.
Ms. Phillip?
The HCA contract governs how we deal with it. Every year there are section changes, movements, etc. This next year there are two current sections at Gardner Road. They will not be at Gardner Road for various reasons. Most of them involve space issues. There are other positions in the building. They're all posted in the whole slate. As much as we know them, we try to lump them together so people can see the opportunities. There were vacancies posted at both in pre-K. You're talking about pre-K only at both Big Flats and Center Street. So it's not as simple as just a move from Gardner Road to Center Street. Because there were
In addition, some of those staff members they have a right to opt to move to other positions if they want, not because they're moving, because they opt to another position.
We do have teachers who they might opt to, instead of moving from, say, a pre-K position at Gardner Road to a pre-K position at Big Flats, they might say, well, I'd rather take a first grade vacancy in my home building of Gardner Roads that I've been working in. But we have worked through that process, and you'll see recommendations on the June 4th meeting for those transfers.
And we work directly with HCA leadership. They're aware and they agree with everything that we're doing in conjunction with them.
So do you have a signed document to that effect that they've agreed to everything you've done?
No, we don't have to because we're following the contract.
Okay. So based on what I heard, I guess where I'm going is, what are we going to do when Ridge Road closes?
Follow the contract.
So you're going to post every K through 4 job because people might want them in Center Street?
No, you
or-
don't have to.
Why?
Because.
You just said you had
No,
posted
Warren,
for
you need to understand, the Ridge Road is not closing. The school in its entirety is shifting. The only thing that might shift out of Ridge Road for that year
is pre-K.
But the way I heard your analysis, what if a third grade teacher at Big Flats now wants to teach at Center Street on that shift time?
That would be
You just told me that was why you did the pre-K and posted everything. Why wouldn't you do it this way? I guess that's why I'm confused.
Just for clarity, when you say posted everything, what are you referring to?
Well, you posted the pre-K, is that correct?
Those that were vacant.
That's all we posted.
Positions that are vacant due to retirement or due to a teacher going to another section or deciding to do an internal transfer to go elsewhere. Only vacancies are posted. So many due to retirement and others then shift, take one position in another building. The whole pre-K was not loaded and not put out as an option. Only select ones due to retirements.
So am I misinformed when somebody says to me that they wanted to move to Center Street at pre-K and they had to interview for that job?
As they would have to interview with other teachers likewise put in for that same position.
But if nobody put in for it, then they would go technically be tied to that class or not?
If they're seeking a transfer, that is left to the
Right.
districts to determine. That is how it's always been. The question I have is if somebody's asking that question, they should not necessarily be asking it to you. They should know HR and have that.
Well, I told them to do that, but I mean, when I listen to this story, I'm confused. I mean, and I'm still, I guess, stuck on if there's going to be openings at Center Street when Ridge Road shifts, why don't we post all those openings at Center Street? Because somebody may want to shift.
And I think I understand it. First of all, we are closing the building temporarily for 1 year. We're taking every single person in every single section and just relocating them. Ridge Road at Center Street. That's all we're doing. It's still the Ridge Road thing. If somebody retires out of there, they're still shifting Center Street, and then everybody has a right to apply for it inside for a transfer. If nobody does, we'll hire for the position. If we have everybody and nobody retires, everybody that's at Ridge Road, say at the end of 6/24, will be in their same position at Center Street, because that will be what's known as Ridge Road. Center Street closes. It's no longer Center Street. Ridge Road is only occupying it as Ridge Road. So there is no change. If nobody retires, the only thing that we think that we would have is just a pre-K placement because of rooms, and we'd be in the same situation here. Those people that were in Ridge Road in 2024, at Ridge Road, if we can't house them at Center Street and we put them in Gardner Road for that 1 year, Big Flats, just like we're doing now, they will go there. And if somebody retires out of there, other people have a right to transfer in.
All right, I understand all the retirement issue, but it seems to me if I was a Gardner Road teacher tied to pre-K, the optics aren't good, at least for me. If the teacher goes to Center Street for the year and they're accommodating the school district, they're helping out, they're trying to be part of the team and do what's best for the district, why don't they get to go back to Center Street after the 1 year or the 18 months, however long it is?
That did happen.
We had two programs, discussing the 1212, placed at our Center Street location. When we closed it down for the work in that building this year, we moved those two classrooms and the associated teachers that select to stay and move to another section as they have the right to try to attempt to do. Went to Big Flats for this year, and now they're coming back to Center Street. But same group of people. One retired, or sure there's movement with one, but I guess when it comes down to more, please have them reach out so we can talk through things. I think there's a lot of what ifs, but I'm trying to get to your question about the Ridge Road in the future you're referring to.
Well,
Yep.
I don't, right at this point, see the consistency. If I'm a pre-K at Gardner Road, we're shifting it to Center Street. Is that an accurate statement? No? Where's it being shifted to?
The number of pre-K is dictated by the number of enrollments we have, just like any other section.
Okay,
we
so
might
now
not
I'm
be able
really
to.
confused.
We
Why are
might
we
be
closing that Garden Road?
There are vacancies in pre-K at both in multiple buildings, both at Big Flats and Center Street. So it's not just a swap.
Okay, so now I'm confused. What classes are being removed from Garden Road?
Pre-K will not run there. It's not a direct 3 to 3. The 3 current are not going to 3 to Center Street because the program dictates, like section numbers, how many have chosen, how many parents and families have said, we would like pre-K. And by that certain date, when we propose to the budget, we have to set a section number. And so currently we said, okay, here's our enrollment for pre-K, this is how many teachers we will require. That too, in any given year, is a factor that can lead a teacher to say, hey, I'm going to put in for a different position because my section, and I'm low man on that particular with the conversations we have with HTA. So
Okay.
I think there's a couple different variables we're talking about here that get involved, but first and foremost, we develop sections based on the cohort size. And so it's not automatic 3 from Gardner Road, automatically we need 3 at Center Street now because enrollment doesn't dictate that necessarily.
And
So-
if I can add, what happens is, no matter what, in any of those situations, once the sections are there, if we took somebody from Center Street and they went to Gardner Road just because we needed them to go there because we were closing it there, we've had those conversations with the HTA leadership that our intent would be they would go back. But if all of a sudden they say, we're taking it back, we're going to bring them back, if they want to go someplace else, there's an opening. That has occurred. The HTA and us regularly sit down and work through all these, and we have. So if any member is coming to a board member in regards to a contract question, I'm sorry, they need to go to HTA, they need to go to HR, and we follow the contract because we will not violate that. And everything has been adhered to exactly the way they questioned it, or we've questioned it, or worked it out. That's what we know.
All right, I understand all that, and I told them to follow the chain of command to do those things. But I need to understand as a board member what's going on. I'm confused. So back to the question, there are currently 3 pre-K at Gardner Road, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so where are those 3 pre-K going? You said they're not all going to Center Street, and you're telling me it's dictated on numbers, so one could be in Big Flats, one could be at Ridge Road,
And one might
could
not be a
at
required
Center Street.
section.
Okay, so if it gets shifted to Big Flats, does Liz get to interview who she wants for that pre-K class, or does the teacher sort of get tied and go there? Or the class shifts and the teacher now has to apply to wherever you're saying the vacancies are? Like the teacher is a nomad once the class is out of Garden Road.
We honor teacher choice, they get to express a preference, and then as part of that process, that they get to meet with the principal talks about their expectations for the role, the teacher expresses their interest in the role, and it goes from there.
Could the building principal say no?
We receive, and it doesn't stop there, it's not a building principal decision. They then make a recommendation to send them out, it's where all those are considered, because there are a lot of local bigger picture issues with 7 schools that we have to manage and make sure that everything is, we're just meeting the best interest of everybody.
Could the building principal's recommendation be no? You said it's a recommendation, so it's either got to be a yes or no.
Well, it can be, but ultimately it ends up with me.
Okay.
Now, just so that I can try to help Warren, I'm trying to do a visual. Right now, currently, we have how many at Gardner Road? 3. Oop. So we have 3 at Gardner Road. How many do we have at Center Street this year?
No.
How many at Big Flats?
2 and 3?
2 and 1, 12 and 1?
Yes.
So 2 and 6. Right?
2,
2.
regular pre-K, and then,
So there's
Yes.
4. There's 4 at Big Flats.
but those 2 have been displaced from Center Street.
Okay, but let's not do that. Just mapping it out. Okay, Ridge Road, how many are there?
4.
There's 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pre-K sections
Including,
with the special education.
correct.
Okay. Now, right now, for next year, hypothetically, how many are at Ridge Road?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. How many are Big Flats? Please check the notes. We know there's none at Gardner Road, right?
Correct.
None. How many will be at Center Street?
3, including the return
1,
of
2, 3. So I need Big Flats now. Because I can get lots of 2,
4 and 3 is 7.
Well, it depends if we needed that extra section, depending on the road. Bill knows that. And I'm coming over just so that we're.
Well,
yeah.
he's looking at it, I
Yeah.
answer the HR question. Technically, this can happen any year.
Yep.
It does, yes.
Okay, so it's not a huge, I just want to make sure that like, I understand that anything is
We
happening.
have vacancy postings every year, as the section changes.
This one. These people. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just waiting on the data. How many?
We have 3 sections at Big Flats,
For next year.
3 sections at Center
So
Street.
we're actually going from 3, 7, 11 down to 10. So we're losing one section because we didn't have enough, and as many people enroll yet.
Correct.
Okay, so right off the bat, there's one out. So that one's out right now. But one of these has to move, most likely over, and 2 have to move from Gardner Road. I know somebody potentially is retiring, so there's no, I know somebody else wanted to go back. There were 2 people that wanted to go back. We had the discussion because it dealt with who the principal may have wanted or not. Ultimately, I ended up making the decision, and we informed the HDA, and they were very happy with that as well just the other day. So we have an opening at Center Street, right,
You mean for pre-K?
for pre-K.
We do, until next month.
We have just approved the transfer to pre-K
It will be in next month.
in next month. And the extra class from big class that went from 4 to 3, I imagine that's going over to Center Street for the 3 section? Or was that built?
The big flat opening?
Big Flat, there was 4 sections at Big Flats this year. There's only going to be 3 this year afterwards. Or are you moving, you're just cutting the one from Big Flats and the 3 are moving over from Gardner Road?
There's 1 being cut.
Yes. But ultimately, there will be 3 at Center Street. Those positions have either been transferred or filled or open.
Correct.
And the HDA knows about it, and they're all set. And it's according to our discussion that they went over, they came back, and we tried to do that. The people at Ridge Road, there's 4 and 4, so is there any changes at Ridge Road?
No.
So those people are staying put.
Correct.
People at Big Flats are going from 4 to 3. Is there any changes at Big Flats? There's 1 opening because somebody transferred and wanted to go someplace else, correct? So does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I got it right too.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Sorry, I didn't have all that information directly in front of me. We were trying to do the enrollment report, we're posting at the same time, so.
Well, when you don't have a visual, it makes it a little hard to see.
Many moving parts.
Any other board comments?
Sorry, just one thing quickly, as I know we're running a little late for time, I don't want to like keep you all
Take your time.
any longer. As we were walking, really, 8 hours. As we were walking in to this meeting today, I turned to my mom and I was like, oh gosh, I only have 1 meeting left, and I know that that report is going to be very lengthy. So So I fear that I'm not going to be able to eloquently say to you the gratitude that I hold in my heart, so I'd love to do it now. Instead, I just want to thank the community, my high school, and also the Board of Education for trusting me as a board rep. This year, it's been a massive honor, and I believe that I've had many experiences in my high school career that have fortunately bettered me as both a student and as a person, but the way that the Board of Education has sparked a passion for education within me and also enriched me as a human being is something that I believe I will carry out with me for the rest of my life. So I just wanted to say I'm very excited to bring you your final report in June, and it's going to be really hard to say goodbye to the Board of Education, but I'm very excied to give a new student an opportunity to do something that I love so very much. So thank you all. I really, really,
You can have as much time as you want. Like I said, you're the highlight of our board meeting, so.
Tatiana, if you could also bring Mario as well.
Oh, no, absolutely, Angela. Yes.
I don't often speak for other people, so I'll just keep it to myself. You do the same for us. We sit here and make decisions just as a bunch of adults in a horseshoe pattern. You make it real, and seeing whether it's flounder on stage or you giving those reports, you legitimize what we do here. So it's a two-way street. We appreciate you doing that to us as well.
Any other comments? Okay, I just want to add at the end, I wanted a few thank yous. I want to thank everybody in the community that came out to vote on Tuesday. It is really important to get people out here voting for either for or against the budget, just to have that community input. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who voted for the new district image. So we're all kind of waiting on the edge of our seats, waiting to see what that's going to be. And then also I'd like to congratulate Mr. Conklin for being reelected to the board. And then also we have Ms. Ungarski and Mrs. Chabon who will be joining us in July. That's when the new board members take their seat, is in July. So congratulations, and then also thank you to all our community members. And then also thank you to everybody, and I've said this at every board meeting throughout the budget process, putting that budget together is, it's a huge task. And so, everybody who played a role in that, thank you very much. And then everybody who worked that entire day for the election. I know Terry was here, and Sue was here. Thank you, and we had a lot of the people working throughout the day, so thank you for all of that. Everybody's always pleasant, they're always answering questions, and I know there's a lot of people that come in asking questions, particularly, I was here listening to a lot of questions regarding the district image, and I think everybody did a wonderful job, so thank you for all of that. And if nobody else has anything, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn to executive session. We are going back into executive session, so we'll close public session. And so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed nay.